Welcome all Autobots, Decepticons, Maximals, and Predacons to the top 6 summer picks.
I would have waited an eternity for this.
We hope you enjoy this summer special. MJ Lee did not wish to wait till the end of the year to do this type of video. However, he does want to tell you something in person before jumping into the list of some fine Cybertronians.
Oh, for spark's sake.
So, without a further ado, here is your host, MJ Lee 29.
Well, thank you very much for that introduction, AI Peter Cullen. Well, everybody, what I'm going to say here, I'll keep it really short so that we can get into the list. That's why you're here. This is our summertime special. But more than that, this is actually our 1,000 subscriber special.
He did it! He really did it!
That's right, we have finally breached that number on this channel. And honestly, everybody, I didn't know if we would ever get here. To me, it's something that is very humbling. And all I really wanted to put this at the beginning of the video is to really say thank you to everybody that helped us get here. And that's a very humbling thing that makes me very appreciative. So again, thank you everybody. However, like I said, I was going to keep it short and sweet. So with that being said, other MJ Lee, do your thing, man. Well, welcome back everybody to another exciting edition of Transformers Reviews. Well, everybody, as you know, today we're taking a look at our top 6 summer picks of 2024. And basically, the only rule is it's whatever I like the most. That's how this stuff is ranked. It's entirely subjective. The other thing is, nothing is excluded. Any Transformer from any series I picked up, even older figures, they all count. So with that being said, let's actually get started with our honorable mention. And so for that said figure, our honorable mention is none other than Premium Finish Waspscream. Now, Waspscream, as you might guess, this figure represents that episode where Waspinator was taken over by the spark of Generation 1 Starscream called Possession. Now, this figure is just a really nicely done version of the Kingdom mold, but that being said, look at some of the fantastic greens that are on this boy. I thought the Premium Waspinator was the end-all be-all for this version of the mold. And then they came back and did everything in the cartoon-accurate green. They have hits of gold on the legs, on the weapon, on his rear end back here. On the actual Premium Waspinator, on both sides of his head, he does have the traditional Predacon logo. Well, in the episode where Starscream actually takes possession of him, those symbols actually change to Decepticon emblems. And you can see there on the left side and even on the right side, they went ahead and put those Decepticon emblems there, and I totally dig that. He's 90% perfect for what he's representing, but he's not 100% there. And at the end of the day, I had to ask myself, which one did I enjoy the least? And, well, unfortunately, it was Waspscream. However, in that being said, he did beat out guys like the Generation 1 Shockwave and other really kind of awesome figures that I've gotten, so he at least has that going for him.
Since when did Buzzbrain learn that move?
Since his exostructure was commandeered by the spark of Air Commander Starscream!
So moving on to our number 6 boy, it is none other than Cybertron Starscream. Now the reason he lands at number 6 is for just a couple of aesthetic reasons. Is the wings on the sides are very minuscule, when I feel that they should be a lot bigger. The other thing is that while I like how the actual whole side arm piece does just plug into a port, I do find that these pop off on my copy way too often, and that's really kind of annoying. However, a positive that I do dig with this design is how Starscream does rock the arm blades when you plug in his Cyberplanet key, which I'm so glad to see these coming back. And then also for him to have the blaster that really, I believe only his Voyager versions came with, and now to have that is such a cool little detail. Plus the fact that in vehicle mode, if you want to have it mounted between his 2 tail fins and just have it bold as brass over the top, you can make that happen. Or if you wanted to go toy accurate, you can actually mount it underneath his jet mode, having it a little bit more concealed. And the fact that while his nose cone is here, they actually made it a dedicated piece that could kind of swivel. But other than that, like I said, this is a very solid figure, and I'm actually glad to have picked this guy up.
A crown befitting the new ruler of the universe! Your time is now over, Magmatron. The reign of Starscream will be a reign of terror!
Oh yes, you're the king, all right. King of fools.
And for our number 5 pick, it is the 10th anniversary version of Waspinator. Now, you've probably noticed with the 3 we've looked at, we've seen a Waspscream, we've seen a Starscream, and now we're looking at a Waspinator. I promise, the other 4 that are on this list, there is not another Scream or Wasp on here. But these boys just kind of happen to all hang around the tail end of our summer picks, okay? We're actually stepping outside of modern figures because this guy here came out in 2006. Now, much like the premium guy, there's a lot of amazing detail that they went to town with on this guy. And using the original mold, look at some of the green detailing. It is really rich, some of the yellow highlights, and trust me, this guy right here is the absolute best this mold ever got. I love the cheeky little Predacon logo. That's not show accurate, but hey, I dig it all the more. So I was kind of missing my original Waspinator mold that I had. Like, I have the Thrustinator remold, but it's, you know, it doesn't have the same feeling as this guy. So I, for one, actually appreciate Waspinator. Coming in number 4 at the list is our boy Magmatron. Now, a lot of you may be wondering why such a high caliber figure is on this particular spot in the list. And don't get me wrong, this is an amazing dude right here. He is absolutely sick. And the one thing that I dig about Magmatron is just so many of the small details. For instance, the grit and the growl that he has on his face, the head crest, and for instance, like down here on the legs, you have like that great organic detailing, and then on the backside it merges into the mechanical bits for the backside of his leg. Plus the fact that this boy can turn his sword into an energy blaster, that's really cool. I dig the 2 smaller swords that he can literally pull off his wing head. And one of the things that gets me, because of course I'm a Beast Wars guy, is the fact that some of these Beast Wars Neo figures back in the day actually had spark crystals, and we know this boy has 3. 1 here, 1 in his arm, and then 1 in the hilt of the sword. So, I mean, this guy, he speaks to me on so many different levels. And again, he's a high caliber figure, so he definitely deserves to be in the top 5. So, with all that being said, you may actually be surprised by our next pick, which personally ranks higher. And coming in at number 3 is our boy, Silverbolt. And some people may be losing their marbles right now, wondering how I could rank Silverbolt higher than Magmatron. But again, guys, remember the criteria for this video. It's not which figure is superior, it's which figure I enjoy more. And despite the fact that this guy is in the number 3 spot, one thing that I don't like is how they didn't finish the detailing on his wings. Now, whether that's just because some parts of the plastic can't be painted, or they simply chose not to, it does leave his wings feeling like they missed a giant spot. However, that's only a problem in beast mode. Right here where you're seeing this side of the wings, it's not really an issue. On the positive side of things, as they have with many of these Beast Wars characters, that head sculpt is on point and I love it. I mean, the yellow eyes, how he's just got the whole mask look going on. They nailed that entire thing. And even some of the other aesthetics, like the bronze chest, the red circle with the tummy teeth, which is still a weird design choice. One thing I definitely loved is the fact that they collapsed the canine arms up a little bit more than they did on the original toy, which even in the CG model, he had his dog legs sticking off his elbows. So the fact that that's cleaned up a little bit, I'm okay with them taking liberty in that choice. Plus the fact that he can do his iconic holding of his wing weapons, dig that with this boy. So this guy right here, he only ever had one figure for his Beast Wars body. And like the second reuse was the BotCon Wind Razor. The third one was his Universe recolor. So our winged wolf guy here was definitely due an update.
Oh no, you're not saving my life again, even after I shot you?
It's my duty, ma'am, as a Maximal and as a heroic character.
And nobody else could take the number 2 spot other than our boy Tigerhawk. This guy right here, he is light years beyond the original mold that he had, which, much like Silverbolt, Tigerhawk only ever had one mold that I think was only reused once for like Razor Claw. So with as awesome as this mold is, I can definitely see them reusing it for that specific character. But even just as Tigerhawk himself, some of the details like the green bits on the wings, the fact that you can use blast effects in the cannons, the fact that his head actually has some of those asymmetric details while keeping the 90s grit and growl energy, the red Maximal emblem on him, and the fact you can actually flare out his wings like this. The old guy can't even hope to do that. Oh, and the other thing is the cannons, being able to use them as handguns either in Peter Quill fashion or as dual wielding. Definitely love that. And even in his winged tiger mode, he looks sick no matter what backdrop you put him in. He looks good standing up to the Dragon Megatron, which, I mean, a lot of these figures do lean in that direction now. It does lean very heavily into the photography aspect. And for me, taking the photographs was actually an enjoyable part of this guy's video. So the figure and the character it represents, I could not put him any lower than second on the list.
You can't stop that thing alone.
Perhaps, but it is my destiny to try. I will hold the line here. Go!
So guys, our number 1 pick, I think, is going to throw you for a loop. But if you give me the time to explain, I will tell you why he lands where he does. Our number 1 figure is none other than the red Transmetal Cheetor. The reason that a 2000 recolor of a 90s Transmetal makes the number 1 pick for this list so far is actually not nostalgia.
No.
Because I never had this figure as a kid. I've had other versions of this mold, but not this one specifically. The reason this guy hits number 1 is because he is super rare. And he is super rare to get at a good price. This red Cheetor in box, if you look online, he goes for roughly about $100.
Holy cats, meow.
Now, did I pay that for this guy? No, but I did pay more for him than I did Magmatron, and we'll leave it at that.
Are you insane?
You do know that was crazy. Sometimes crazy works.
And as a guy that collects Beast Wars figures, the Transmetals, I like to joke that I'm a Transmetal hunter. So I think out of all the versions of this mold, I think this one was the last one I needed to hunt down.
Beast mode! Now that's gorgeous.
So like I mentioned earlier, guys, this list is entirely subjective. This is just how I'm feeling at this moment. The other thing is that we've got a lot of other figures still come out for the last half the year. Tidal Wave actually showed up at my door, and even before that, we actually had 4 members of the Mayhem Attack Squad show up. So we did a video, if you haven't seen it, over Chop Shop, Barrage, Breakdown, and Windsweeper. However, that being said, this doesn't exactly spoil my end of the year lists that I do. For instance, we're going to do a top 10 interesting pickups, and then we'll do all Legacy United guys as a separate list to follow that up. Again, that's at the end of the year. So we'll have to see if these 3 boys right here maintain their top spots, because they could be entirely subsumed. The next video that's going to be on this channel will actually be the Shockwave Roundup, but again, we might have to follow that up with the big boy. However, with all that being said, guys, This was our top 6 summer picks of 2024. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and until next time, we'll see you all in another review.
At last we take our rightful places, Optimus, as gods, wielding the power of the cosmos. I am but a soldier, Megatron, and you are a prisoner of your own twisted delusions.